It is like a finger pointing away to the moon.
Thinking is medieval. They are asking all the wrong questions.
I'm sure. Good luck on that subway ride home, you miserable, ugly f***ing wives.
People don't know what they want until you show it to them.
Trust me, I'm not driving a 7 Series without strippers.
I think I read Warren Buffett say something like that.
What?
Right.
Who's Warren Buffett?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Week 16. 4 months.
Week 16.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Impressive. Almost the end of an NFL season.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Almost the end of crypto season.
Yeah, what have we learned?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was
do I need
kind of...
bullet points?
No, I
learned that, I don't know.
Yeah, I learned rugs can come from anywhere.
Yes, we did learn. I remember like third or fourth week, we were like, I wonder if you can get rugged in a liquidity pool.
Ha!
Yes.
Can you?
Yes, you can.
We sought those out.
Yeah. We have a whole group chat dedicated to finding liquidity pool rugs now.
Yeah, pure rugs only.
Did you ever get an 8-ball finance?
I did not, because I just don't have extra stuff. Isn't it a Matic chain?
Oh, I thought it was
The Polygon's Matic, right?
I don't think it was a Polygon chain. Oh, is that what? Oh, that's what Mark was saying.
I think it's a Polygon chain.
I didn't look into it. I thought because it was a copy of Panther, so I was like assuming it was a BNB pool.
Oh, okay.
But it could have been a Matic chain for all I know.
I'm pretty sure it said Polygon on there.
Oh, if that was the case, I would have gotten into it just to see.
Experiment, yeah.
I haven't done any Matic pools.
What was the other blockchain that we said we wanted to get? Matic
Phantom?
and Phantom. Yep, that was it.
And I had a homie hit me up the other day, and he was like, I'm trying to get you in the Boo Army. And I was like, okay. So,
I'm down. Dude, we were looking at Spirit Swap over a month ago.
Yeah.
But there was, back then, when everything was still kind of pumping, 1,000 APR was like, we can get that anywhere. Mm-hmm. And then now, I don't know if I even know if they're good now, but it seems like they're still around, so that's something.
Well, I am currently out of liquidity, so...
Yeah, that's fair. You need liquidity for the liquidity pool.
Exactly, so no more liquidity to add at the moment, but that is something to look into. Yeah, I guess the Mark Cuban thing happened after we filmed the podcast last week.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if we talked about this.
No, we didn't.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Objectively, one of the funniest things that's ever happened in this space for me.
And it sucks because I really like Mark. He's one of those guys like Elon where I think he's really good for the space. It's going to be guys like these renegade billionaires that we need to get into the space anyway. But then they're going to come in here and act like children, which I don't think I'm not even an Elon hater. But for Mark, I'm like, bro, you don't get to get rugged like we've been doing for 4 years and then be like regulation time.
Okay, for sure. The blog post will we'll touch on that in a second. But I do think that it is funny that I consider myself an Elon and a Mark Cuban fan too. But that doesn't mean when they do stuff like this, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You're being a baby.
Yeah.
It's like more how you would handle you'd razz your friends because you're like, yeah, I like him, but he's gonna do dumb shit.
Sure.
Like Elon is good for the space because he's bringing eyes here
and lots of money of his own
and lots of money. True, but then when he says one thing and people take it as gospel, it's like, well, that's more on the people who think everything he says is like.
Yeah, that's no different than listening to everything everyone says in the Twitter space.
Yeah, honestly, general celebrity worship is always kind of an issue, especially on Twitter.
But
probably.
I think crypto wouldn't be where it is right now if it weren't for people like Elon, Cuban, and Saylor in the last 6 or 7 months.
I agree.
I think they pumped it to a certain level that we couldn't have gotten.
And a little bit of lightning rodding. I think they took some of the heat off some other stuff.
I agree.
While we're on the Elon, thing, I thought it was interesting that we kind of we talked about when he stopped taking Bitcoin payments for Tesla. And it was already when Bitcoin was going sideways, and we kind of all knew it was losing strength and started going down. And everyone's like, "Oh, Elon broke the market." It's not that simple. I find it very interesting that we wrote that off really quickly, but then Cathie Wood came out and said that crypto mass adoption was on a speeding path and was halted in its tracks by Elon. And I was like, from a couple tweets, apparently there's this thing called ESG. Environmental, social, and governance. Mm-hmm. So apparently it's like a lot of these major corporations, they're adopting this. It's like an HR standard. It's like a sustainability standard that the company adopts, and then they're kind of rated on their sustainability and all that kind of stuff. So apparently this is huge in the investing world, that if you are going for a company, it's like a tag. Oh, they're ESG approved.
Gotcha.
So it's like a stamp of approval from this big group that's they're at least conscious of their social impact and they're trying to do something about it. Now, that's all grandstanding and means nothing. I would like to say that right now, that everybody who follows ESG probably making it worse. I don't think you're a good person for doing this. Fuck you. But apparently, when Elon came out and said that, like the general group of ESG, what was acceptable, completely dropped crypto.
Oh, when Elon said
Said that, and it was kind of brought to light about the environmental, anybody that was kind of on board, the ESG stamp of approval included not holding crypto.
Wow.
So a lot of companies that were thinking about putting on their balance sheet were going to lose their like ESG qualification. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, like what it is.
It's probably overly simple.
Sure, but a lot of people didn't do it because of this movement or this group, and Kathy would kind of, when she put it in that, I was like, oh, I didn't realize it got that deep. I kind of thought, that just kind of goes back to retail versus institutional. Like, it's so hard to tell who has the real money. Well, we know who has the money, but it's hard to tell who has the power.
Yeah.
Because momentum
and whose money's in the market? Is it still mainly retail money in the market, right? Which I assume right now it is.
It's got to. From that, I really do think so, because I think a couple have it on their books, but public companies have to disclose stuff like
I was about
that,
to say,
and
they
we
have
just
to.
have not seen that. Like when like Square and Tesla did it, we're like, oh, here they come.
Yeah.
Once a day, they're coming in.
Yeah, it was. We were. All the rumors were like the Walmart soon, and then Amazon,
Yep,
and
Facebook on their earnings
same things
call.
we saw like 2017-18 type hype, where things just we heard for months and never happened.
Which I'm sure everybody on that level was inquiring about it, and
of course, and that's probably where the rumors came from. Is so and so was in this meeting.
Yeah,
yeah.
Somebody at CoinDesk or Niraj talks to you, or whatever. Was like, this person called asking about this. Like, who? I don't know.
Yeah. So maybe he affected more than we gave him credit for.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Is that
Yeah.
I guess I was thinking his reach was just like people, and turns out it's like the pillars of the institution.
I still like to think he has. Honestly, I don't really know what his grand plan is, but I think he does believe in crypto as a whole.
Oh yeah, I don't think he has a grand plan. I think he's just like
He's just YOLOing.
I think he's doing the best for him, which was he got that flack. He probably looked into it for the first time and was like, "Ew, this is a bad look for my company. It's not just me. I have a fiduciary responsibility to my investors."
Doesn't Tesla still hold some of their Bitcoin though?
They
a majority of their Bitcoin.
Yeah, I guess that was it. I don't think they sold Bitcoin. They just said they weren't taking payments anymore. Right. Which is funny because that's like they still have billions on their balance sheet.
Yeah, so I wonder how that actually affects the ESG.
But like if all this did was bring an eye to the mining, because we talked about this weeks ago, a day after most of those news stories came out, the next day was the video of the people building the well on the base of the volcano or whatever, and literally using like the heat emissions from the steam from the ground to power these miners. And it was like, hey, we did it. Like, you guys wanted clean energy. This thing was closed and we opened it. Like, we didn't know it was. So it's both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool with. I guess I'm okay with the FUD and driving the price down because this is going to take longer than we thought anyway.
Yep.
And so it's like, why not, real G's move in silence like lasagna kind of thing. So, yeah, build up these good mines, build up these renewable mines. And then, like, when some Twitter warrior with green hair stops me in a bar and is like, but you're killing the Amazon. You have an NFT killing the Amazon. And you're like, cool, read anything anymore. Yeah. And we fixed that problem pretty quickly.
I guess kind of related to billionaires and regulation in the space. What do you think of this? What do you think the effect Cuban's going to have on any regulation concerning LQ stuff? I mean, I don't really know how serious he is about moving forward with regulations. I don't even know what regulations he's going to start trying to propose.
So his thing was about stable coins.
Yeah.
Which I guess the way that so this was Titan. Titan on or Iron. Was it Titan on Iron? Iron Finance?
Yes,
and
it was
Titan
on,
the coin?
Iron Finance.
Okay, Iron Finance. And there was like Steel, Iron, a couple. It was a standard Panther Swap type liquidity pool where they got a couple native tokens and they're doing their thing. No, he was being greedy like we were, and he was finding new shit that was pumping coins for no reason, and he was making a good return. And then when he didn't get enough of his money out, okay, here's I think probably a big caveat. I don't think he's doing this because he thinks the space needs regulation.
No.
I think he's doing it because he's pouting.
Yeah.
Because he lost money or I don't know what it is. Yeah, he said
nothing about regulation for the.
He said he got out in time.
Yeah.
So that means he made a shit ton of money.
But he wanted to stay in longer.
Yeah.
Getting out in time means he just didn't make as much money as he wanted.
That means he actually saw the indicators that shit was going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he probably helped in the the rug.
Absolutely, he did. What's funny is that like Titan put out I say press release, but it was 7 tweets.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a press release now, explaining what happened, and it was like, guys, we literally had like a crypto bank run, a la the Depression, which is everybody came to us and demanded their coins, meaning like. The people in the pools weren't holding them in pools. They were taking their rewards and selling them instantly. And the way, I guess, the DAO was set up was something about when you swapped from one of their native tokens to another, or you swapped into the stable coin, it would print more of the asset. It would print more coins to, I guess, like keep the supply up. That was like part of the, I guess it's inflationary, the opposite of like a token burn. So when that happened and people saw the liquidity numbers start rising, it just exponentially, everybody started getting out. And it went from, I don't remember what the starting number was, but when they posted that tweet, they were like, we have 27 trillion coins in circulation.
Jesus.
And that was hundreds of times what that was just a couple days before that. So it's funny that, so yeah, his thing was on like, this thing was backed by a stable coin, which, you know, stable coin pegged to the dollar, like a tether, like a USDC, but they made their own native stable coin, and it wasn't collateralized by anything. They just were like, this
is stable.
This is pegged to the dollar.
Sure.
Believe it. But like, that's what we do all day. I get, you know, they were just trying to do some crypto shit. They're just doing what everybody did.
we would have jumped in it for sure.
Sounds awesome. I wasn't going to read wherever that information was about the stablecoin.
No.
So in his blog post, he said, I was not as careful as I should have been. I did not read the white paper. I did not understand the tokenomics. Although, here's what should change about regulation of the crypto. I'm like, bro, then just read more.
Yeah.
Stop ruining our fun. Don't take your ball and go home.
Yeah, we get rugged all the time. We don't want regulation.
You admitted that
more
you
rugs.
you did this to yourself.
Yep.
We admit that every day.
So you're admitting you need fucking, what's it called?
Uncle Sam to make you money?
Yeah, you need training wheels. That's essentially what he's saying. It's like,
exactly.
he's like, I understand that I need training wheels.
Precisely.
Which is not.
And if he's not, and yeah, exactly. Because if you don't think that way, and it's just like, I'm doing it for the bet, then just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just read better. Get better
Shut the fuck
experts.
up.
He could have asked 2 or 3 people in the DeFi space to look into that, and they'd have been like, don't do this.
He could have done it in an extra 5 minutes, but he saw APR 2200.
Which
I would have done the same thing.
yeah, so that's fine.
I just don't like the take your ball and go home type of like. How does he benefit from that? I don't know. It really did kind of rub me the wrong way that it was like, oh, he's one of us. He for sure has an alt account on like the deep
Oh, he's
crypto
deep in.
Twitter.
He's deep in.
Somebody that we probably follow.
I'm sure. Yeah, I wish he'd have just done it less publicly, if anything. Like, he had to go Twitter rant about it.
Right.
Or like, post a...
I think he wrote an article.
Yeah, but I'm like, if you're going to really do that, just do it behind the scenes. Like, I think that had a hand in the market not really, I don't know, reacting too well to that whole situation, too. But it is what it is.
This is also like pile-on. Like, it's like when you have a bad stretch of financial, and you know your bank account's low, but you're like, if I check it, it's real. I know it's bad. Why even check? That's like... That's the mindset.
Yep.
Just, don't try to... He should see why this is so fun. That's what I don't get.
I think he does, but yeah, he's also...
Okay, no, that's what I was... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I never, ever, ever buy the narrative of, I'm trying to protect the common man, the average investor. 1, the average investor is not in crypto.
Yeah, no.
2, that's on them. 3, no, you don't care.
No, you don't care.
You don't care.
To me, that's the main one.
The main one is, no, you do not fucking care.
You're just lying.
You're lying. You're using that as like a... Dude, that's the worst problem with government regulation, is it's always like, a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. It's a zero-sum game. That means a lot of people are making a lot of money.
Yeah, they'll learn very quickly if they start losing money.
Yeah.
It's not like crypto is going to be what throws 30% of the nation into poverty. That's not what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Like,
and the people who thought they lost everything are the people doing like liquidity pool stuff, not just like buying ETH and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because that stuff, at this point, has reached the level of like, it's essentially a traditional investment.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
You're going to have a lower swing for a longer amount of time, but this counts as investing now. That is a new-ish thing. So yeah, it's never about the common good. It's always about lining your own pockets. And so I might sound more angry.
And that's why I've liked crypto so much, because it's very transparent in that. You come into this space, we're all trying to out-Ponzi each other. Sorry, we're all trying to rug each other. That's just what the game is. And like, I just love the transparency of that, because you can win. You can win at that game, because there's no... Once government regulation gets involved, you don't know what the rules are anymore. Here, we know what the rules are, and there are none.
I'll tell you, I'm actually very interested to see how governments will try to regulate stuff like DAOs, because the way the government...
That's the whole point. You can't.
Exactly. The way the government has always dealt with this is like, well, if we're the middlemen, we control everything, and then we decide what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
When decisions are made like on a community basis on the blockchain, so that everybody's vote is trackable, and that, there's been a couple of those where people will accrue the native coin just to change governance things.
Yeah.
But then it's immediately outed because it's like, hey, by the way, this one wallet or these couple of wallets definitely owned by the same
And that
person.
ruins the whole project.
Accounted for 35% of this,
Yeah.
and you can go back to the community DAO part and be like, is this vote allowed or not? It like solves itself, and it just is not. It just doesn't jive with the I need to put my stooge in charge to make sure that I'm the one profiting off of this.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It's just not that arena, bros.
Nope.
I love it.
I do too.
Fucking love it.
What else have we got in this week? I know we have one big piece of news we'll talk about. We'll wrap up with, but I want to. We got anything else? I know you looked at some stuff before we started.
I did. Let me.
Because I know a lot of stuff's happened this week, but the biggest piece of news dropped on us this morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I did. Oh yeah, the other thing was, there's just a headline on the block. The block's a nice place for some quick news. I really should spend more time on here. U.S. Justice Department seeks crypto specialized trial attorney for money laundering recovery. So I guess this is kind of in line with them getting the pipeline money back, which they were very proud of. And I was like, "Where's the $20 million that disappeared?" I was like, "Oh, everyone's salary increased." And so they said, I don't think they said what they were going after. I guess that would kind of ruin the point of.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of just goes more in line with them saying, a few weeks ago that IRS was going to be cracking down harder on crypto tax laws and enforcement.
I would like to see that, because if it's the IRS specifically, I do not believe them.
No.
They have no money, they have no audit power, and they won't. The amount of time it will take to correct a crypto person's taxes will not yield the benefits that they need.
Who's going to. And the fact of the matter is, most people in crypto that, like.
Are not in America.
Well, that and the ones that are like, okay, say an IRS tried to audit me and they came to me and they were like, show me all your crypto stuff. Good luck having me explain all this to you.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way they're going to get it. Who's going to explain what? How do you have access to my MetaMask? You don't. I'm not going to show you my MetaMask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just as a general rule, there's no way to even. I don't know. That is a jungle that no one's going to figure out anytime soon.
I agree, and that's why this headline was so funny, because it's literally like, hey, help. Can you help us bust people? We don't know what's going on,
Please,
but like...
And can you help us sound scary so people don't break
That's
the law?
exactly what it is. Guys, people are money laundering. We got to stop them.
Yeah. Like, can you... Yeah, just please help us make this sound way worse than it is.
Yeah. So they were all proud of themselves for getting the bulk of Bitcoin back from the capital pipeline thing.
Yeah, whatever.
But the funniest part is at the end of... The DOJ will pay the new crypto expert a GS-15. I assume that's like some legal level of like qualification. $144,000 to $172,000 a year.
He's getting more than that to do something.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's an okay salary. But if you're working for the DOJ to like literally be the front runner of shutting the crypto industry down, you're gonna get $144,000. Crypto Twitter will burn you with the stake.
There are 16-year-olds on my timeline with more money than that for crypto.
So much more.
Like, you're not gonna.
Man.
That is not gonna help at all.
It's such a like a stooge versus the. I was gonna say main character, which is clearly like a biased version of me.
Are we the main character?
Yes, the main characters.
We're the protagonists for sure.
We're the protagonist. We're just trying to make some money, bro. It's like I'm not worried about.
I don't know if that makes us the protagonist.
Yes, it does, because we're also nice. We're so
That's
nice.
true. I do think the crypto space in general is the protagonist.
Yeah.
Or like or maybe we're the anti-hero.
Okay, no, that's exactly what it is. When is the government ever the good guy?
That's true.
And the
government hadn't been the good guy since the 60s. Like,
yeah, and
like,
even then, it was in its own interest, which sometimes the interests align, but right now they do not.
No.
And it's just like, oh, I wonder how you're going to try to spin this to sound like we're the bad guys.
And they realize
here.
they're losing grip on their citizens in a way that I did like, as corny as like McCormick is and like Breedlove and all those guys. They did have a really good like philosophical side of the discussion on Bitcoin one time that I listened to. I've listened to it 4 or 5 times now, and they were talking about how like the bigger crypto gets, the easier it'll be for citizens just to leave.
Yeah.
And governments are going to have to start petitioning like, hey, this is why you should live here. They're going to have to convince you to live there, and I think. No one's realized that yet. Like, what reason does the U.S. have for me to stay here if they're going to like do this to crypto? We'll just leave.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
I mean, they've been fighting that battle in the business sector for decades because we have the highest business taxes by far, and we have the highest minimum wage pretty much. I'm sure Europe's a little bit higher right now, but it's just I'm gonna put my headquarters elsewhere, and I'm gonna go to Vietnam and China and Singapore to make my shit.
Yep.
And it has to be an incentive program because.
Their governments are going to have to actually start working for the people, not saying they are.
Oh my God, what a revolutionary concept.
That's literally what's going to have to happen once crypto's because there's no way every government's going to come together and say we have to figure out how to shut this down. That's just not going to happen.
It just can't. And me and my dad talk about this a little bit. He's a little older school conservative, and he has his worries about China, which I think are somewhat founded. And a point we keep talking about every once in a while is the dollar will not fail because the second in line, the close and only second in line is China, and the whole world will not let that happen.
Yeah.
So, like, I really do think on a lot of these things, especially when it comes to regulation, we know what China's doing with trying to mine. Well, actually, they mandated all of their banks to reject every crypto transaction.
Pretty crazy.
Very interesting.
They got something up their sleeve.
That's exactly what I was going to say. They have to be planning something.
Something's gonna. It's not killing crypto. That's not the plan. I tell you that.
Yeah.
It is not that.
They wouldn't benefit from that. They like taking advantage of that stuff.
And I think they're going to somehow.
I agree.
Yeah, so can we talk about my favorite piece? Not in a good way, but like just the saddest piece of news for today was John's dead. We think
John
McAfee's gone, dude.
So
I didn't believe it when I saw it either. Like
I was, you're the least active in the IG group.
Yeah,
because you're like your schedule kind of opposite a lot of ours. But when I was on there, I saw a news article about how he was going to be extradited to the U.S. And I was like, oh, that's...
Okay, so that was true. I couldn't tell if that was like clickbait or not.
So I guess the Spanish government... I didn't know he was arrested in Spain, because apparently he was on the run before that. I don't know when that happened.
He was on the run. He got away with... He was on the run for a long time without getting arrested.
Years.
Yeah. And then he recently... It caught up with him, but I thought the extradition was just clickbait. But then I realized it was extradition just to be tried and put in a U.S. jail.
Hang on. Okay, so John McAfee was not arrested in Spain until October 2020.
Yeah, I knew it was fairly recent.
Wow, that was very recent. Okay, I did not know that. And apparently he was seeking the extradition.
Okay. What, to the U.S.?
Wow, there's literally like... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, I misspoke. The U.S. was seeking extradition.
Gotcha.
And then in prison he did an interview and said, I will never return to the United States.
Okay, well...
So then Spain... So... The timeline of I'm at work, I'm clicking around, I'm checking my Twitter stuff, and I see Spain has approved the extradition of John McAfee to U.S. to face trials on tax evasion. I didn't realize it was just tax evasion, but
yeah, I thought it was more than that.
And I'm sure. Here's the thing: we should next week. Here's what we're gonna do: we're gonna look into his crimes next week.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I'm gonna say this very blasé.
Yeah.
What he did probably was not a big deal compared to like the lack of regulation in the crypto space. I think what he did was he was taking like he was doing like coin of the week and pumping stuff, but he was funneling it through his public company.
Yeah.
That's where
can't do that.
You can't poke the bear. Why are you trying to poke the bear, dog? Yeah. I'm gonna watch. We need to watch.
We should have a whole John McAfee week, and we're
gonna watch a compilation of his crazy shit, and we're gonna like dress like him. I'm gonna get the beer going. It's gonna be so good. So he, apparently he killed somebody.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I don't know enough about that story to speak on it.
I don't either, because that's what they said Ross did. They said Ross killed somebody and put him in prison.
They said Ross hired people to kill someone, which is the same thing, but it's...
He had a website that other people hired other people to kill people on.
Yeah. Well, it was a little deeper with Ross, though. He had
Was it really?
It had something to do with somebody that was exposing information on Ross. It was pretty directly tied to him. So, but apparently, from the mega brains on Twitter that I follow, they're like, it was all bullshit. Mm-hmm. So it was...
It would be the perfect setup.
It was one of those things where like they needed a reason to arrest him, so they built this story.
I really don't like the fact that conspiracy theories are now just like assumed.
We should also we should do a Ross Albright week too, and just like
that's a great idea.
Because we're gonna need some bear market shows.
I was just thinking, how do we make this show
useful,
entertaining?
Yeah, we could like.
How do we make people want to listen and watch?
We can do like little bio pods.
I think that's a good idea.
Like people.
Besides bringing more people on, the Tendies interview, of course, crushed it.
Yeah, I haven't even brought it up to him, but I'm going to try and get bear market Tendies on later in the year.
Hell yeah, I want to see him.
I have a couple more.
Sad.
I have a couple more guys in mind that I'm definitely going to bring on. But I think that could be a fun way to make the show.
So yeah, I do. That would be fun to do most of the show to be like, here's John McAfee's life and crimes.
Yeah.
That would like a true American story.
Do we still like him? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Pass. Yeah. This at the end we're like, so what do you think?
Yeah. Do we like him or not?
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
I would hang out with him. So I saw that he was extradited, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. I didn't even know he was arrested. And then 15 minutes later, Peter McCormick tweeted, breaking news: John McAfee was found dead in his Spanish prison. And I thought he was trolling.
Yep.
For 5 minutes, I was just sitting there refreshing Google and everything.
Yeah.
And I texted the group. I'm like, holy shit, did they Epstein John McAfee? And within 5 minutes, there was a couple Spanish newspapers that reported it. And then all these tweets, all of his old tweets started getting retweeted about like...
I'm not going to kill myself.
So there's one where it's like, hey, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings from higher-ups in the like government U.S. officials that say, like, we're coming for you, bro. You're going to kill yourself. Just wait till we get there. And then he tweeted, like, if I kill myself in a cell, no, I didn't.
Yep.
And then did another one where he got a tattoo of whacked He's
Yep.
like, if anything ever comes out that says I was murdered in a prison cell, just know I was
I'm gonna
killed.
put whacked in my bio.
All that shit, dude. He's a legend.
He is there's going to be an epic documentary about him one day, I'm sure. I mean, it was funny because when we came into crypto in 2017-18, he was the guy, the shill guy.
Right, right.
Like it was McAfee coin of the week. It was
Yep. People are making the Elon. It's different now because the space is bigger, but like
he was the godfather of that shit.
Think about the Elon relationship, but in like the dirty medieval times that was 2017 crypto.
Yep.
Where it was even more wild.
Brand new
West.
coin every single week.
Yeah, he would do coin of the week stuff. He's got that thing with Bitcoin Bella where he photoshopped. I don't know. It was hilarious. He was in. I didn't realize that man was tied in.
Oh yeah.
So
he posted his phone number in Reddit Biz. No, in /biz on 4chan.
Oh my God.
Or maybe it was Reddit. One of the two. But this dude I know on Twitter actually called him and he answered and he said they had like a 20-minute conversation about crypto. He's like that man actually answered. I respect him so much.
That's
like
awesome.
He just posted his real phone number in this thread and like answered everyone that called him.
There was that level of like unhingedness where
he was crazy. I mean, he was a cokehead. So
that's well, he's done every.
Sure.
God, there was this one bit. It looked like a TikTok where he had a guy set up dressed as a pastor, then flipped it on himself and pretended he was in confession and talked about like they made me eat humans and I never thought I would enjoy it so much, bro. It was out of this
and then he'd turn
world.
around and have these like 2-minute philosophical like deep speeches about like governance and peace and like and I'm like, bro, who are you?
Yep.
He was a character.
I'm
man.
sure that dude has thought about. I think his thing was like, which is a philosophical discussion we've kind of all been having. I know Sam Harris talks on a lot or touches on it, which is nice. There is like a security freedom teeter-totter that the government has a thumb on, and based on our reaction, they change their pressure. So there is like, right now it seems to be unstoppable that we are going to lose privacy over time to gain more security. And I think people like John McAfee, a little bit of old school, were like, if we don't decide where the hard line in the sand is,
there has to be a hard line.
We are pigs in a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he felt controlled on a level that like, we're like, oh, it's not, they're not killing us, it's not that bad. He wanted to fight against that so much, and I think it was like, we got to draw that line. And I really don't think that's a winning battle. I think we will lose that battle over time.
Sure.
And John might have been one of those people to yell enough about it and get people thinking about it, and maybe they didn't want that.
I mean, he helped create a portion of the generation of like renegade, like tech anarchists, of our age group for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, part of his online ramblings were a huge part of that. But I mean, for as crazy as he was, it wasn't like he didn't make good points. It wasn't like he didn't deeply, deeply care about what he was doing. As far as the points he was trying to get across.
And a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is like he was well aware of his unhingedness.
Oh, I'm sure. You have to be.
Yeah. That's what made it so endearing.
He seemed way more self-aware than people would give him credit for.
Yeah. So rip to the legend. I posted a picture. I posted 3 John McAfee posts today, and I didn't get a single interaction on any of them because all my followers are cowards, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. Well,
Bunch of cowards.
You also don't have like super heavy.
I also have 300 followers.
You don't have like
and they're
deep
video
crypto
game
followers.
Yeah, I have video game followers.
Yeah, I posted one tweet on my alt account, did great. One tweet on my main account, 1 like. And it was like,
hell yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, well, y'all don't like y'all. Honestly, like Jeff didn't realize McAfee was the McAfee virus guy.
Yeah.
So like most people don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until
But when
I got
you
on
say
Twitter
that,
today.
it's the McAfee guy.
But people don't even realize he's a guy. They're just like, the computer software. No, he's a crazy ass motherfucker. That's who that is.
Okay, it was like 4 or 5 years ago when I found someone was like John McAfee. I'm like, oh, the antivirus guy, and they're like, yeah, but he's a lot more.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Once you're introduced with it takes 5 minutes for you to see him in a video and be like, oh, that guy has programs installed on every single computer in the world. That's kind of that's interesting.
And then we watched a video today, his like iconic video where he's like teaching how to uninstall McAfee computer. And it's like him and all these girls, and he's just doing blow.
He's got fake coke, maybe real coke,
probably real coke,
spread over his face. He's got a big can, like a Folgers can, next to him that says bath salts.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like women in scantily dressed clothes going on him, and he's explaining how to.
But in that video, he's like, I haven't been involved with this company in 15 years.
Oh
He's like, I have nothing to do with this company.
I didn't even watch the video. I just posted the picture of him all coke nose with all these like women draped on him. I'm like, what?
You're not going to get any interaction on that from your demographic.
They don't even know who he is.
Yeah, that's
a true American legend. I did put up my video game group chat, and I was like, guys, they did it. They Epsteined. They cared for like 2 minutes.
See, I was I would have leaned more into the conspiracy stuff if I didn't hear what you just said about I will not go back to the U.S.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So like, pump our brakes, guys. He probably killed himself. Like that's the thing. It wasn't like he knew he was done. Like
agreed. And okay, I'll take the other side of this. Well, first play a little more devil's advocate. He seems like a human that thrives in prison. And he has tweeted such that in the Spanish prison.
Tweeted that today.
Okay, yeah, he tweeted a thing. He was like, guys, I have way more friends than I've ever had. I'm having a great time. The food here is pretty good. They're treating me well. He was like legitimately having a good time.
Yeah.
I really don't think where that dude is living affects that, like
his mentality,
his mental state. But also, he is a guy that's like, I'm God. When I kill myself, my new life starts.
Sure. I bet you he had some.
I could fully see him just offing it because it's like, oh, it's just cool. I'll just go to the Meteor and
let's go to the new. Yeah, do it again.
Yeah, give me some whatever Jim Jones or Scientology. Like he's probably just like, it's cool. I'm God. I'll just come back.
Yep.
So it's honestly a coin flip to me.
Yeah.
But now maybe it's 51% he actually did kill himself because if you are the U.S. government and you've done all this work and you know way more than anybody else does, if there was a person that has a dead man switch, that, oh, if I die, these things get released, isn't John McAfee like top 3 on that list?
Yeah.
That like, if you want everybody to know everything I know, then kill me.
It's like him, Kim.com.
Who the, what?
The creator of Pirate Bay.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like there's a couple guys like that that's like, you don't need to kill them.
No.
Because like they've been in this game too long.
And it's not like they're like secret agents like Black Ops or whatever.
Yeah, no.
Like these
are
are well-known
like internet
people.
dudes that are on Twitter. Yeah.
And that's got to be like the biggest fear of
That's what
the
Kim.com's trying to fight extradition from New Zealand right now still too.
Really?
Yeah, dude, we got to watch this doc.
No, New Zealand's going to play too nice. He needs to get out of there.
No, they're letting him have asylum. He lives in a huge mansion and shit there still. I think it's like
I would see eventually New Zealand playing nice with America.
Yeah.
I think that will. They want to. I think they kind of want to westernize more.
I think they. Well, that's the thing. It's in like level 2 or 3 of appeals, I think, and they won't. I don't think they'll let him leave the country until they decide on what to do. I think it's one of those situations.
What a terrifying scenario.
Yeah, he's had. We should watch the Kim.com documentary soon together. I watched it like 2 years ago, and it's pretty incredible. He had like a whole political movement there trying to get people trying to get him to stay there. It's pretty
crazy.
Nice. Yeah, he lives north of Auckland. We could have just pulled up on him.
That'd have been so cool. Yeah, we should have hit him up on Twitter.
Right. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think we're going to find out a lot more in the next few days.
That would be nice.
It looks pretty open and shut to me at this point.
Yeah. And it was in Spain. That's just no fun.
Yeah.
By the way, he posted the name of the man who murdered Jeffrey Epstein in his cell and the lawyer who got it off.
Where?
On his John McAfee was tweeting who killed Jeffrey Epstein. It's like, look up this guy. He already had multiple murders. He was in this, yada, yada. Dude, he was just firing him off, bro. He's awesome.
I don't want to open a can of worms, but like, do you see he's a master troll. That's who McAfee is.
For sure.
The fact that 20 minutes after he died, he posted Q on Instagram. I was
just about to say that.
I was like, bro, he is the master troll. Like, he is just trying to rile up all these internet people.
How do you think he did that? Okay, so that...
He doesn't control his Instagram.
No, that's... Okay.
One of his daughters does.
Okay. I was going to say, that might actually be a way to show that he did kill himself, was if I was that crazy... And I was like, it's okay if I die. I'll just be reborn in 5 minutes. Then I would totally schedule a bunch of tweets and Instagram posts an hour after I died just to mysteriously pop up and fuck with people.
No, I think it's obvious that an assistant or a family member had access to all of his accounts as well, which, is cool. Yeah. And he was just like, I think what probably happened, he's like, when I die, post this 30 minutes after you find out.
Okay.
And like...
Think Q was like question everything?
Doesn't matter what we think it actually is. It matters because he was just trolling. He's like, really?
Post the letter Q.
He posted Q, really?
Posted the letter Q 30 minutes after I died.
Come on. Yeah. You should just
He's not dead.
Read the comments. He's trolling from the grave. It is hilarious. So he's a master. I love it.
I love it, man.
And everyone's like, he's Q? I knew it. Like,
God. Of course people thought it was QAnon.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, people think that he's Q.
Come on.
It's like, that's just...
They already found out who Q was.
Oh, yeah, but it doesn't matter.
He's just some redneck American dude.
People want something to talk about.
Oh, my God.
So that's how that went.
Man.
Rest in peace,
Rip
John.
the legend, absolutely.
Let's definitely do a little recap of who he actually was next week, though. That'll be sick. We didn't really prepare for him dying today, so...
Yeah, no, we should do like a This Week in Crypto Crime or This Week in World Breakers, or we'll find some cool term to talk about people who... People who fuck it up.
You want to do some long and shorts then?
Let's long and short it up. Mine are bad this week.
All right, well then you start.
Wow.
I think I started last week.
So, this is gloating. Are you long and short the Suns like I have been long the Suns since the beginning of the playoffs?
I knew I should make an extra one because I knew you were going to
Yes. Oh, did you say that too?
You rugged me. Okay.
You let me go first.
I'm actually long now. I'm long.
Yeah.
I'm long on Suns championship.
Yeah.
I can't think of a reason not to be at this point.
The Nets were the only chance, I think.
I don't trust the Bucks at all. There's no way the Hawks get out of the East.
I can't believe the Hawks are still in it.
I don't.
Did they
this
lose?
whole season's
Was it the
weird.
76ers?
They lost to the Sixers, or they beat the Sixers.
How did the 76ers lose?
Ben Simmons can't shoot.
Oh, yeah, Ben Simmons is terrible.
I mean, he's not terrible. He needs to go somewhere else. With someone
Bro,
that can
did you
shoot.
see that thing that was like, who's Ben Simmons going to play for next year? And Shaq was going through his thing, and he pulls up and goes, the Hong Kong Tigers.
Oh,
Ni
my.
hao! And it had, oh my God, it was
Jesus Christ.
so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Suns. I'm actually a Suns fan for the rest of the season. So let's
I love it.
Let's run it.
I stopped being quote unquote Suns fan. I was a Fairweather Suns fan while Steve Nash was there, and then
They're a cool team.
only after like a year after Devin Booker got drafted there did I realize how nasty that kid was. So sick. I hope CP comes back, but they are 2-0 without him, right?
Yeah, I think he's back next game though.
Okay, good. So that'll be
Pretty
fun.
Yeah, they're 2-0 without him. Last night's game was pretty nuts though. It was a really good game.
Dude, that's what I was going to talk
They
about.
won.
The alley
They
oop.
won with the 1 second alley oop.
Okay, can we talk about one playoff P?
Yeah.
The Clippers were up 113 to 112, and Paul George
Missed
went to
4.
the line
He missed 4
and
free
missed.
throws.
Did he really?
He missed 4 in a row.
Because he was up. They were up 1 and he missed 2 with 11
Yeah,
seconds
before
left.
that he had missed 2 more.
How? Okay, so he missed the 2. Literally threw his team away. I don't know how the 11 seconds happened after that, but then they inbounds with 0.8 seconds and they throw a lob alley oop, and the
That
dude
never
just
works.
Never works.
That never works.
Okay, they showed it. Everybody who's watching this, if you're into this kind of thing, go on Twitter and try to find the angle, the camera angle of the guy who throws the pass, and it gets like 2 centimeters away from the backboard.
Jesus.
He threw the most perfect lob pass that almost brushed the side of the backboard, which would have been out of bounds and a turnover if you touched the backboard. But it went up there and the guy dunked it, and then the Clippers, all of them ran to the court. First of all, they didn't really contest it. Second, they ran to the ref and were like, guys, it was goaltending. Because none of them know how rules work. You can't have a goaltending on an inbounds pass.
No, you can just type it in.
So they all were looking at the ref doing the goaltending sign as opposed to defending the alley-oop, and it was like, this is so apropos. Like, miss free throws and then don't know the rule book.
Yeah.
Please go home.
Yep. I mean, yeah, that was a close game. But, I mean, also, Clippers came back from 2-0 deficits. Okay, maybe I heard something wrong, but I heard if Kawhi Leonard comes back this series. I heard that phrase.
Okay.
How does he come back this series?
Okay,
Because I'm pretty sure he can't. He
Okay.
tore his ACL.
Okay, maybe he didn't tear his ACL. Maybe he just hurt Leonard. Because I know it was ACL damage.
Okay, so maybe he can play a few games, but he's going to have to have surgery after
Wow,
that?
okay, yeah, no,
He might come back?
there's a headline for every game. So it's, will he play this week? So it looks like he's on the fence.
Interesting.
Is in pain his team.
Bro, if he comes back, he's not going to be worth shit.
No, I don't think so. You can't just like mildly hurt your ACL, really.
Yeah, he's going to be sore at least, and he's not going to be able to cut.
Yeah. So they say it's not confident they'll come back.
Yeah, they're done.
Wow, did they just like kind of stop? Did they just not do an MRI because they didn't want to know if it was too messed up or
Wait,
not?
hey, don't look at your bank. It's not real.
That's a very fair
Same
point.
thing.
Okay, well, I think that's what they're doing. Dang.
All right. Are you long or short? Because what's Bitcoin at right now?
33.
Yeah, it rebounded a little bit, which I still think is kind of a.
Yeah, 28 while I was sleeping.
I'm not buying it. Are you long or short?
Wait, not buying the bounce or not buying the dips?
I'm not buying that we're out of the weeds yet.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
I'm not,
It's gonna get,
I'm
it's
not
gonna get
buying
worse.
anything right now. I'm out of money.
But it's going to get worse, which means it is a good time to buy, but
Sure.
you're not buying the bull market resume thing yet.
Are you long or short? I won't even say sub, but approaching 20K Bitcoin. Like at least real close.
I think we will. I think we're gonna fuck up all those 20s. We're gonna get 21, and people are gonna flip out, and it's gonna dip below that. I really don't think it's ever
I don't
gonna.
think it's C19 again.
I do not think we'll see 19.
I think if we get close to 20, people will mega boost this shit.
I think so too. I think the further it closes in on that 20, the higher bounce you have. We've kind of seen it already with the 31 and the 28s.
You see the senator that came out today, and she was like, she's like the only senator that publicly owns Bitcoin or something. And
I've
they were
heard
like,
this a
what do you
while
think
ago.
about it crashing? Goes, I'm excited because if it goes any lower, I'll just buy a lot more.
Let's go.
It was pretty interesting.
Finally, the first public human answers that question
Yeah, and
correctly.
it was a very it was like a Fox News interview or something
Yeah.
stupid. It was just something stupid, and like she was like, I don't know, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, I was like, oh,
That's how real investors talk
But
about their.
I just don't know that. Yeah, I was curious to see how you, because you're generally more bearish sentiment than I am.
Yeah.
But I just don't see us going below 20 at all.
I really
do think
don't.
we'll do like 20s, mid 20s.
Like I don't think crypto's over,
No,
but
I
I
know that,
just
yeah.
think that like I think it's very possible people are stupid and have their eyes closed for more than 2 years.
Sure.
Again, that's my worry. But I do think that the 19 and the 20 range is going to be insanely telling.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be weird, man. We didn't really talk. We can talk about that next time. I do think we're on the same page, which is funny. We got there different ways. I'm like, it might be all over. and you're like, we just got to wait it out. I think we both want to start kind of short range scalping
Yeah,
the big players a little bit, and so we're gonna try that. And maybe we'll do a little interactive thing here where we try to track it a little bit.
Oh yeah, that could be fun.
That has kind of been my issue is tracking entries and exits.
I don't.
On our exchanges are kind of difficult. I don't want to make a notebook, so I just got to look up what the best way to.
I'm gonna start following Trader CZ, Cred, and then I have another.
We got to watch the Cred YouTube series, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I want to start.
Yeah.
I want to dive deep into Cred stuff, and then
Moza had a couple. Last
also,
3 days, Moza's been back on killing shit.
One of the group chats I'm in, it was like a bunch of the dudes in there are actual day traders, and I was like, give me somewhere to start, and they sent me this like not really spreadsheet, but just like a bunch of articles, like all in one tab of how to trade crypto and altcoins, and differentiating from regular markets, like how they're different and how you should actually approach them. And they're like, honestly, it's good that you're starting from not trading traditional markets because you can forget a lot of bad habits there that you don't need in crypto.
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna start there maybe tomorrow, and maybe use the bear market to actually learn how to trade a little bit.
Yeah,
it might be. It'll help us next run anyway.
Because every time we're sitting here thinking, it's like anytime you see. Like, you're just seeing 1% moves so much. And then you see a 5% move, and you're like, oh, that seems out of the ordinary. And then it corrects within the next 12 hours.
There has to be a way to take advantage of that.
It has to be, as long as it's more than 50%, it's a profitable venture. That's all I'm thinking. All you need is 51% calls on those, and you're making money. I think
it's worth it.
I think it's worth it.
And you're just becoming more intuitive with the market, and I think that's a healthy thing to do. That's a healthy.
I agree with that, but I also am worried that that's a fallacy that does not exist.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's just a collection of humans,
there's no
can
actual way to
so
predict
quickly.
it. You're right. Yeah.
Right. But I do think that it kind of goes back to the markets are really just sociology played out on a mass scale.
Yeah.
Which is like, this is literally just how people are feeling. This is groupthink. Go back to 1984. This is groupthink on a chart.
Yeah. Well, I think it's no different than just learning psychology, but a little bit different.
Yeah. But it's a second layer.
My turn. Afraid it was my turn.
I know. I think you did too, right?
No, you just did your second one.
No, I didn't do my second one.
Oh, yeah, it's your turn. I did too.
My second one is, you probably don't know anything about this. What do you think about the MLB yesterday has started suspending players for having sticky stuff? Did you see this video?
Yeah.
Of Max Scherzer coming out on the mound and taking off his stuff, and the ump coming up and rubbing his sweaty head to see if he had sticky stuff on him. And then Sergio Romo, a reliever for the Athletics, they called him over when he was in the bench, and he took off his hat and gloves, and he pulled his pants down and pulled his belt off, and was like, "Search me." Because that's they're
what
saying.
The fuck?
They're saying like people are putting like firm grip.
You gave me a rundown on the sticky stuff situation.
Okay, yeah.
I know about all that.
So it's like, people have been hiding all the grip. It's like inside of the collar, under the hat, like a webbing of the glove, and like under the belt. Apparently that's where like people. So the umps are like, give me your hat, give me your glove, give me your belt. But they're doing it randomly when they think someone is touching their head too much.
Weird.
It's really weird. So Max Scherzer pitched. His spin rate was down. He probably wasn't using, and he was rubbing his head a bunch, and the other manager was like, hey, go check him. They checked him 3 times in one game, and by the end of it, he's like literally yelling at both, and he like took off his belt, and he took off his glove, and then he's like, you want to feel my head? They're like, you've been touching your head a little bit too much. He goes, cool, throws his hat, you want to touch my head? Go ahead and touch my head. And he's like, it's just sweat, I'm sweaty. He was making a complete scene, and it was the funniest thing.
That's just weird to me because it just interrupts the flow of the game so much.
Exactly. Like, it is a twilight zone for even a baseball fan. So from a casual perspective, what do you think? Do you think this hurts? I mean, obviously you're going to say it hurts.
I don't know. What else do you do to fix it? You got to, I don't know what else.
That's the correct question.
I do think sticky stuff shouldn't be a thing. But what do you do to fix it? You just make, how do you, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another sport where you could cheat in a way without like incriminating your coaches or anything like that, and like also no one else finding out about it. Like Deflategate was weird because like other people touched the ball.
You
and
had to, yeah. That was
like I don't really know. This baseball's so weird because it's like this is such an easy thing to hide.
This is actually you're right. This is a very unique scenario. It's like normally people can't cheat individually besides like steroids, which is way different.
And that's an easy way to you just test everybody. Like that's not hard.
Yeah.
I really don't have an answer because it's like. Sure, you shouldn't be doing it, but that's obviously not the answer. It's strip searching your, unless literally part of the daily every game you're pitchers get strip searched before they go out to the dugout.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to work.
I guess.
And then you could just give it to another player.
I guess my real question is long or short the MLB. Because
okay.
how can they cannot get out of their own way.
This has to blow over at some point. I don't know. I mean, I'm short the MLB because I think it's on TV boring.
I agree.
think it's boring on TV. I can only watch it if we're at the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've never been to a more fun event than when we went to the series, but that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But I think, and we talked about this the other day, how the ratings are somehow still very high for baseball.
Blew my mind when I actually looked that up.
I don't know how that's possible.
I was for sure in agreement with you that the NBA was dominating MLB numbers. When I looked it up, they're almost even. Through regular season, mid-playoffs, and finals.
They're even?
Almost even. The MLB has a slight tick in World Series and regular season.
Then I think NBA overtakes them in the next few years.
I mean, it has to, right?
Yeah. I just don't. MLB is just, I don't know. It's not a game that is very well adapted for exciting television culture, which is what we're in right now. Which
is what they're trying to do. The reason that they did the sticky stuff ban was that the average batting average is now 230.
Sounds low. Is that low?
Yeah, because 300 is you hit 300. Okay. That used to be pretty good. That's really good. Pretty good. Now 230 is average.
Why is no one hitting?
Terrible, because you either hit a home run or you strike out. Because pitchers are way better than they were 5 years ago. And literally, if you don't swing for the fences and get lucky, you're going to strike out. So everyone's just swinging out of their shoes.
Yeah, I don't know how baseball fixes itself at this point.
They got themselves into this problem by ignoring this for years, and now they're paying the piper because they look like idiots on social media. And I
think umpires aren't really necessary, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm
I agree with that. That's the bigger problem. The umpires have full control whether they eject somebody or not. Yeah, they determine what is sticky and what's not. Do you know that they give you a rosin bag on the bump when you can tap it on your hand? If you put rosin on your hands and then you sweat over time, the rosin becomes tacky.
Oh.
So if the ump goes out there after an inning when you've sweat and you have rosin in your hand and they touch your hand, you could get suspended for 10 games for a legal substance that the MLB provided for you.
That's pretty whack.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And it's hilarious. So everybody watch Max Scherzer go nuts on Twitter. It's funny. He also has anti-chrome. His eyes are different colors.
Oh, cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the sticky stuff thing until 3 or 4 weeks ago when you guys were watching it on TV.
Yeah,
and I was oh, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, it's so nuts.
Too many. Just a fun question. Are you long or short our favorite internet comedian, Sahib Singh?
Sahib! Oh my God, that's my boy.
He's so funny, dude.
He should be I'm long him because talk about an undervalued asset.
So underrated right now.
God, he's one of the funniest people on the internet.
He reminds me of a Tim Dillon-esque type comedian where it's just he just leans so hard into the funniest parts of culture, but for some reason he's not taking off like that. He's
funniest parts of but also funniest parts of his personality.
Yes.
Tim Dillon is so naturally who cares if we're if the vaccine killed a couple people, no big deal. That because he seems that way as a person, it's hilarious. Sahib is the perfect guys, it's not a big deal.
He seems like a woke business guy.
Yes, he seems like such a soft, nice woke business, and he's he's so funny.
I want to go see. He lives. He lives in one of the Carolinas or something. He lives pretty close.
Okay.
And I would love to go see his stand-up.
Stand-up?
Yeah, he does stand-up.
I'm totally down.
I would love to go see his stand-up. He followed me, so I'm gonna hit him up.
I will say that I do think it's difficult for non-stand-up comedians now. And the only change in that has been podcasts during the pandemic. Tim Dillon talks a lot about that. Podcasts have exploded. Sahib doesn't have one, and that's not really his best form of comedy. So how does somebody like that become?
What's the Casey Fry thing? He's only good in
that's true. That's actually a really good example.
His best stuff is the short form burst, but I bet you Sahib's a good stand-up. I have a feeling because he's been doing stand-up for I think just as long as he's been doing internet stuff. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but I want to see him play more characters. So it's so hard to make in a stand-up thing when it's not your shtick,
Yeah.
But I do think Casey Fry is probably the best. That's the best path he should go.
Yeah, I agree. Just make your money, which is surprising because I think Sahib fits our internet culture perfectly right now. And he really is not as big as you would think he'd be.
I wonder if he just doesn't market himself because I think Casey Fry had I don't know if he did it himself or he has a business manager, but he was putting himself out there in I don't want to say sellout, but hey, cameo me for $1,000. You know, he was just doing everything.
Oh, he's getting that money.
Yeah,
and he was doing a lot of when I was still working in music, a big thing was like trying to pay for Casey to do like just do a dance to one of your songs, and like a lot of artists were paying him big. Like it was a common thing in bigger labels for marketing teams to be like, "All right, we go get Casey, we get this person, and they'll dance the song." Like so, I know he was getting bread for that.
That's literally. I bet that's what TikTok is right now. I bet a lot of that.
It is. That's it's been like that for a few years now.
Interesting.
A lot of those TikTokers that are dancing the big up and coming artists, they're getting bread for that, which is pretty nuts. And then all the like mid range TikTokers, just to copy the trend, they'll dance to the same song, and that's how that shit goes viral.
Yep. That's how those mid artists find mid TikTokers to get kind of.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the one Casey Fry music video where it's him cutting the wood, the shirtless version of himself, and then the overseer version on the dance. It might be the best video on the internet.
Yeah, I don't even know the song, but I love it.
You want to live out and you want to be free.
Yeah, we went through a phase of like kept watching him, and like literally all his best videos are like him just dancing to newer songs at the time. I was like, oh, okay.
Or fake freestyle rapping.
Yeah, that too. That's all three of mine though.
Oh yeah.
You have a third one.
Okay, third, boring, Doge.
Long or short Doge?
22 cents.
What is it?
21.7 cents.
Oh, I mean, I don't think Doge is done, if that's what you mean.
Were you surprised when you saw it was like, it hit like 15 a day or two ago?
Did it really?
That, or like 17, around there. That, I figured it was still... So I have a Blockfolio where I keep all of my coins on my watch list, and I hit on my screen somewhere and alphabetized my coins, and my life is over.
That sucks.
I had a perfect order, and now I can't find anything because they're too conveniently ordered by alphabet.
Yeah, I will say Doge went lower than I thought it had.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
But I think because...
Look at that monthly chart.
Oh, that's rough.
That's funny.
No, it is funny. So the other day I had someone hit me up, and they were like, should I sell my Doge? And I was just like, here we go.
I got this question today.
We're hitting the bottom, I think. And then I was like, of course I gave the same spiel, like, I don't know. I hold all my coins until I literally die, so I don't really know what to tell you. Like, I'm negative in everything right now. So it's hard for me to give you advice. And then they were just like, well, yeah, but I don't know if I should just move it into something else. I'm like, this is not like...
It's too late.
Not only that, but it's just like, this is not a conversation I can just have. Yeah. I don't even know how to explain this, but it's like, I can't tell you what to do here. Like,
I would have to back it up by so many, like, here's the risk you have to know you're taking.
You probably shouldn't have bought Doge first. Like, let's start there. And, like, that's...
Yeah.
Like,
did you think 65 cents was a good entry for Doge? Did you know?
No one knows what they're talking about. So, like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But,
my thing is, like, Doge is the easiest, like, tagline, because I just tell everybody, guys, Doge is going to hit $1. It might take a year or a decade. Yeah. But, like, if you want a 5.5x or whatever from here, might take you a really long time. I have no idea. But yeah, keep buying.
Sure. The problem is don't put any amount of money in where you're going to want to sell it later. Like, at a loss.
To survive. Yeah.
Don't do that to yourself.
If this goes down 70%, would I have to sell it to... Yeah, exactly. At that point, I've been trying to refocus this way, which is like if a coin goes down 50%, at that point, it's like you can't fall into the sunk cost fallacy. Which is like the money gone is already the money gone. At that point, today, right now, if you were going to move the coin that went down into another coin, all you were saying is the second that coin B will outperform coin A from today. Mm-hmm. It's never that simple because people always ask, well, I bought it at this, but if I sell it at this, I'll feel bad about... I'm like, you can't...
That doesn't matter.
Got to get that out of your head.
Yeah.
If you're selling now, find a coin or something that does better than what you think Doge will do, and good luck doing that. And don't blame me when it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, because during a bear market, every shitcoin's correlated anyway. So, like, good luck moving from one shitcoin to another that's going to move faster. Like, just wait. If your money's in something and you don't need it, just leave it until the next bull run and then figure it out.
Yep.
I don't know. That's my advice.
Sats posted it was a chart of, like, the top 200 alts charted against each other, and it is one solid line. Yeah. But it is a super thick line. And he's like, I don't know, man, which alt should I get into? And I was like, that's actually a really fair point.
Yep. That's why, like, we're identical. I mean, we're balls deep in cope, and like we're just kind of vibing. I don't know. Yeah. It is what it is. Yep. We're just kind of chilling now.
The micro stuff doesn't matter until, like, we talked about this last week, that, like, those plays don't really work until Granddaddy Bitcoin and Papa Ethereum, like, start being a trusted big player. Yeah. I don't want to say, I mean, they are, but, they're hurting a little bit right now.
Wait, so you've asked 2 or 3, and I've asked 2, right? Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this kind of goes right into what we're talking about. Are you long or short? And I don't really even know how short I mean, because I kind of know what you're going to say. Long or short on our APRs during the bear run? Like, how bad do you think they get?
Like, how it'll affect?
Because we're pretty low right now, but
We're pretty low.
But
I
I also
guess-
saw a hot take on Twitter the other day. They were like, "I actually think DeFi is going to see an uptick during the bear market after we get through all this FUD." And I don't really know why, but
the problem with the premise of this question is I don't know what tokenomics are.
sure, yeah.
So I know some.
I do think a big part of the DeFi fees programmed in are trading volumes. So I think with
How can you pre-program trading volumes?
no. I'm saying a percentage of trading volume has to be a portion of why you're getting such high ABRs.
Oh, right. But that's what I'm saying. How do you put an APR number on a website, knowing that reflects the future trading fees?
Oh, I think it's what's currently being traded.
Okay, yeah.
So it's got to be. I don't know how exactly the algorithm works, but yes, you're right. We should learn more about the tokenomics
But
of that.
also, like, if more people get into a pool, does the APR automatically go down?
Theoretically, yeah, that's the point.
Every single coin?
It has to be because you're getting a percentage of the fees, a less percentage of the fees.
That's true, but like also a lot of projects don't they like the coins you get in reward are new coins being minted. You know what I mean?
For some projects, I don't think it's all projects. I could be wrong about that.
Well, if that's the case, then that means that the Cope hub has that much Cope in a bank.
You're right. Yeah. Okay.
And then they're distributing it on that. It just can't be
can't
that
be
way.
that-
It
you're
can't be
right.
that way. They have to be new coins on some level,
Okay.
or it has to be the opposite side of a burn. They have to have a burn
Yeah,
and
you're
a
right.
distribute. Okay, that makes more sense.
We should probably know this.
We probably should. We've
Back
been
in-
here.
we-
We've been here 4 years.
Yeah. Well, we have been in DeFi longer than 6 months, so
That's true. DeFi hasn't existed since mid 2019. So.
yeah. We should also have a DeFi week where we kind of like dive deep and actually learn what some of the tokenomics is.
We probably talk shit about Curve and Yearn, but like at this point,
Probably pretty good.
you making 18%. Like you tell a boomer you're making 18% on your stable coin or something, they're gonna be like, "Oh, wow, fun getting Ponzi schemed." It's like, yeah, y'all are just doing it wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still holding true to my soul farm pools at the moment because we are getting tulips.
I checked.
and I think tulip is going to be a pretty profitable coin once the next bull run comes
The
around.
price of Tulip has held up nicely because I am taking an opposite approach because I'm too deep into the soul farm stuff already. Like a unhealthy percentage of my net worth is in that thing. So I've been selling out Tulip to USDC
Yeah, just to have
just
more.
because
of them.
I want to be mobile with a little bit more of it without having to pull out of pools because it's just annoying and too many steps, and I like getting my rewards.
Sure.
I just
We'll see.
we will see.
Cope's still my biggest asset at the moment as far as like shitcoin pools. So and I think 11 Finance is still holding up.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Is I looked at the 11 site because I got into the thing of going on 8board and seeing like the dollar amount of my investment, and that
See, I don't really do that.
it's a much smaller number than it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
But I took screenshots of when I put in liquidity pools because one thing 8board doesn't tell you, which is sometimes hard to find, is the number of LP tokens you have because it doesn't like show up in your wallet
That's
the
what
right
I
way.
appreciate the most.
So I screenshot when I invest what the LP tokens are, and the amount of LP tokens in Walt that I have now is like already doubled. Mm-hmm. But my dollar amount is like halved because
Yeah.
the coin is at 1
So
cent.
the question
when
is,
I got in 5.
do you think it'll come back? That's what I always play in my head.
That's kind of what I'm thinking is like
If it comes back, then you make all your money back.
if it comes back, quote unquote, but like it goes back to the everything's correlated, which
Yeah.
is like every bull run. Is this going to be a 2017 Dino coin? Which is like, why do you still have synthetic or whatever whatever the one that everybody had was?
Yeah.
Like, will things truly be Dino coins anymore? Will things literally die and be like, 27? Like, oh no, the best example is Lumens.
Yeah.
Stellar Lumens. I've held Lumens for so long, and I was like, oh my god, they're from 2017. They're OGs. They're trusted. And everyone's like, no, old, stupid, dumb.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't exist. If that doesn't happen, we need that to not happen. And I'm
yeah.
hoping it won't because there's so many more blockchains, there's so many more like actual projects that you would need like a real thing to replace it. So we need something like Cope. When everything is going back up, all the Copers remember, oh hell yeah, I still got all my stuff.
Now we pump it to 100. Like yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna let my LP tokens accumulate until that happens, and then we'll see what happens.
Right. Because if I wasn't doing this, I would be scalping, and
Probably lose money anyway.
I guarantee you I'd lose money.
I'm gonna pull a little bit of money aside to scalp and maybe get good at it, but honestly, I probably won't get very good at it right away. So
Yeah, I'm gonna start with just like a grand or two,
Mm-hmm.
but like go all in almost every play. I think that's the way you have to do it.
yeah, I don't really know the best way to do it yet, but I'm gonna go through Moses' tweets too and just kind of see, read back from the beginning. But
Because you gotta make 2% swings worth it.
yeah,
Like 2% is a lot.
yeah,
So I think I told it in the podcast last time that the owner, I showed him Panther Swap and he had an aneurysm and he was losing his mind. He has bought Bitcoin and Ethereum since then.
Is he staking
A little
anything?
before. Nope. He has I think TD Ameritrade lets him buy like the big 5 crypto or
That's
whatever.
funny.
So he bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum, and now he comes in, he talks. He's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, everything took a crazy hit today. Like Bitcoin was down like 3.5%." I was like, "I've seen 3.5% moves in 15 minutes."
Yeah, I don't
even know. I'm just like, yeah, that's crazy.
If it's still in the 30s, I'm not really blinking an eye.
Yeah.
Like nothing's changed.
Talk to me at like 20%, and even then, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, we're restarting. Cool."
Yep. Well,
It is crazy how I don't want to say disillusioned because it's real. These aren't like fake things. They're just temporary.
sure.
We're not disillusioned. We're just
Early.
We're just playing. Yeah, we're early.
We're not wrong. We're just early.
Playing a little bit of Russian roulette.
Yep. I mean, yeah, we decided that a long time ago, though.
He was like, "Is this a Ponzi?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, it's a Ponzi."
Everything's a Ponzi. It's all a Ponzi.
Yeah, it's like, "Hey, yeah, the stock market's a
The
Ponzi."
U.S.
dog.
economy is a Ponzi. It just lasts a lot longer.
I do. Okay. I do want to say out loud, which might not even be on. A buddy of mine like texts me every time the market goes down. Hardly ever when it goes up, but whenever it goes down, we always just like chat back and forth. And he was just asking. We were just kind of chatting about inflation and stuff. And I just want to make like a prediction
Oh yeah.
that like I can just go back to. I don't really know, but I think over the next probably like year or so, we're going to start hearing the repression narrative that we heard in 2007. That's like, is this the worst thing since the Great Depression? We had it in the 80s, and we had it in 07, and everyone's like, and then the numbers came out. It's like, this is the worst. But before they were even like, oh, GDP's down, everyone was like, this is, we're in a crash rate. I think what we're going to see is the bottom 40% of America, it might actually be 60% now. How many people have money in this country? Any money. Like, how many people in this country make less than $80,000 a year?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Has to be in the 70%,
Yeah, it's
right?
it's got to be a very, very large chunk.
If I'm way wrong on that, that's fine. But like beneath that number, that's pretty much like a paycheck to paycheck with a little bit of stuff. Those people are going to start. We're going to start hearing things from like Twitter and people complaining that we are in a depression and that there is no money and everybody's broke. Everybody above that threshold is going to steadily grow their stack at like a very slow but steady rate. And nobody will say a goddamn thing because the party can't end. Because you can't say you can't agree with the plebs too much, but you also can't tell them, no, we're making money. What are you guys doing?
Piss them off. Yeah,
I think we're about to see.
You can't flex too hard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and even like a 3% flex is like as long as it's not going down. And so I think we're going to see like a depression narrative, and then like I don't know how we're going to see the indicators, but we're going to see rich people making more money.
Yeah, until it eventually just tears at the seams.
That's exactly what it is, and I don't know if tear up or tear down.
Yeah, I just meant
because I think what is going to come out of that is the only thing that I can really think of is we're definitely going to see a wage increase. It might not be minimum wage, but I think average wages are about to go
I
up.
thought that was already kind of happening.
It was. Well, Biden put it in there and then called the Republicans and said, we're not going to pass this. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I was just thinking of because I was thinking back when I was working hourly and I was making like $7.25 at Walmart and when I was like 19, and now it's like you start out making like $15 to $20 an hour a lot of places.
Okay, that's what I mean. Not minimum wage federally, but yes, companies will start hiring at higher rates.
Yeah.
And I would love to see if that works. It would be great if that works and then the household income raises up and that's why we see like another retail pump. Mm-hmm. I don't know what will trigger it, but I just think over the next like year or two, we're going to see like an insane doom and gloom narrative while everything else, like the statistics, just kind of ride out. Mm-hmm. My suggestion for that would be play it efficient market theory, which is everything has to go up or the party's over. Yeah. So either build a bomb shelter or invest in index funds and Bitcoin and Ethereum and big, easy stuff that you know is just going to go up and to the right.
Yep.
That is my prediction. In a year, I just kind of want to see what plays out.
This next year is going to be the most interesting year in a long time.
I don't think we've ever seen this like level of disparity in like the economic, how the people of the bottom. That's what I used to say, like bottom 50%. It's just not that anymore, and I think that's going to be part of the majority. I really think it's a heavy majority.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
And I just want to know how we get. I don't know how we get from that to Bitcoin pumps, but we'll piece it together as we go.
All right. And next week maybe we talk about McAfee. We'll see.
I love it. Let's do
change
it.
Our mind.
True crimes.
See ya.
Love y'all. Big thanks to our sponsor over at CryptoCandies.io. Head on over to their website and check out their selection. They're always adding super dope and unique new crypto-themed designs. and we greatly appreciate their support.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Crypto Dojo. If you enjoyed it, be sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And feel free to hit us up on Twitter and IG at Crypto Dojo Pod. We'd love to hear from you.